Fordham Baseball has qualified for the 2025 A-10 championship. Lou Orlando, Tucker Austin for WFUV. We are joined by the five captains of the 2025 Fordham Baseball team: Andrew Kanellis, Gannon Brady, Connor Haywood, Daniel Bucciero, and Tommy McAndrews. Fellas, thanks for stopping by and chatting with us on this Monday morning.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Well, listen, let's get right into it. The first time that Fordham Baseball has qualified for the A-10 championship since 2019. For a couple of you, this has been a 4-year journey. So I know the job is finished, but just walk me through what it feels like to finally get to this next stage.
Yeah, so me and Connor, we've been here for 4 years. Tommy and Dan for three, and AK for two. I mean, we've been through some rough times here, obviously, but I mean, it's just been great this year. I feel like we've meshed early on with the squad here, and we're just ready to get going in the playoffs. So we haven't obviously been there yet, but we're ready to see what it has to offer. And I mean, we're playing with the way we're looking at it. We're playing with house money here. We haven't been here before, but we got everything to gain and nothing to lose. So we're excited for it.
Yeah, awesome. And you guys, obviously, like you just mentioned that not all you guys have been here for the same amount of time, but for the guys who've been here longer, maybe the seniors in particular, uh, you guys have been putting on the maroon and white for your whole college careers now. How much more does it mean to get to don these colors in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's definitely really special. I think it's a testament to like the group of guys that we have here, and like there's nobody else I'd rather do that with. And I think that's something that we take pride in is like the team chemistry that we have, and like the culture that we built here over the past couple years. It's a tribute to all the guys on the team that we have, and everybody like nobody playing selfishly, everyone playing like for the greater good of the team. You know, you do it for the guy next to you. So yeah, it's really special to do this. And like you guys said, we haven't done this since 2019, so we're just excited to get out there and see what it has to offer.
Gannon, you had mentioned obviously there have been some tough times, especially for you and Connor in this 4-year stretch. I remember talking to Robbie Stewart after the close of last season, and obviously that was one where that skid at the end, you just barely miss the cutoff line, and he basically said we felt like we threw it away. Coming into this year, if you could take me inside the locker room, is that something that you're using for motivation this season, or is it throw that out, flush that out? That's not us. We're a different team this year. We're not really bothered about, and we're not concerned with what happened last year.
Yeah, so we know we play in a very tough conference. I mean, we've been saying it the whole year. We started off in first place after the first 3 weeks, and like we were saying amongst ourselves, like we're going to get punched. Like it's how you respond to it. I think last year the big difference is when we did get punched, we weren't able to recover. We lost 8 of our last 9 in conference. So I'll just say that this year we had a great group of guys, like the guys on the Zoom that were able to kind of tame the emotions when we were getting punched. I think we got swept against Davidson and St. Joe's. Those were big series, but we are able to come back from that and be able to rebound and get back to where we are now. So I think just learning from where we were in the past and being able to grow from it, I think is definitely a big deal. And yeah, I just think that we just had our head on our shoulders and know that like it's not always going to be sunshines and rainbows this year. Like we have to be able to come back from it and have to be able to recover for it, and that's what makes a great team.
This year certainly had its ups and downs. But I got a question specifically for Andrew Kanellis here. You were an engine for this offense this season, to say the least. And specifically, you had a really incredible month of April. So how do you carry that success from the regular season now into the postseason?
Yeah, sure. I think it's more of like realizing that like I've done it now in a sense, or like and not just me, like a lot of guys have had like spurts of like really good success on a stretch. So it's like you were there, and even if you're not there anymore, it's like you got to always have the confidence that you're going to be able to get there again. And I think the big thing is just like being willing to battle. Like now is especially the point in like the season where like personal stuff's kind of like out the window. It's all just like how can I get a team at bat? Like if you got a runner on third, less than 2 outs, like how can I just put the ball in play? Like I'm not trying to hit a home run. Like little situations like that where I think that's where like baseball is the most fun in a sense where we can kind of play loose and every at bat is like completely like for the team. And not that it wasn't before, but now it's even more of an emphasis. So I think that's the big thing is like keeping that team focus, head down the stretch. And I think if we all kind of have that as an offense, then we'll be able to put up some big runs.
I mean, I'd love to talk to you and Booch a little bit about it. We've seen the last couple of years in New York with MLB when you had Soto and Judge hitting back to back to have two of the most feared hitters in the A-10 going back to back. I know it's different effects for both of you, but I would love to get both of your perspectives. Daniel, for most of this season, having Andrew Kanellis right behind you, and Andrew getting to hit behind Daniel Bucciero for a large portion of this season. What has that done for you guys and then the lineup as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I can start like since I hit behind Dan. It's fun to watch just because like I feel like every pitch it's thrown like has a chance to be barreled. But it's good for me because I get to kind of learn. Like I think I have the benefit because I get to learn from him. Like, okay, how are they pitching to him? Like he gets some like the tougher like at bats before I even get in there. So I can kind of see like the pitcher's best stuff before I even step in the box. Um, and then certainly like he gets on base all the time, so it's way easier to hit behind someone who's like on base. So that's been a treat hitting behind him and Taylor too, who's also always on base. So I feel like I benefit a lot just because I come up in those spots where like I'm able to like cash runners in like in a more easy situation versus like nobody on, nobody out. It's kind of like you got to find your way on versus me. Like I can just focus on like putting a ball in play and getting a run in. But yeah, it's been a treat hitting behind Dan all year.
Yeah, I mean, hitting in front of him, I'd basically say the same thing. I mean, like you said, Kirk's getting on a lot, so I usually have somebody on base when I'm up, and having somebody behind me where I know like if I get on base, like I got a pretty good chance to score. I mean, it's pretty easy to be honest. And even if like there's runners on and I can't do the job, like I know somebody behind me has that like the same chances, if not better chances, to do the job after me. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, and Booch, you've been a really consistent offensive talent for Fordham since you showed up in your freshman year. But this year specifically, you added some significant base running to your repertoire. You finished the season ranked top 5 in the A-10 in stolen bases. It was a treat to watch on the field this year. But was stealing bases like a particular focus for you in the offseason, or did the opportunity kind of just present itself over the course of the season to steal more bags?
I mean, I think during the off season it was kind of a little bit of a focus, just during practice or during conditioning, during sprint stuff, or on my own time doing that type of stuff. But I mean, also I think a lot of it has to go towards honestly Porter because I feel like he gives me a lot of good counts to go in, and honestly most of the time it's counts in which he thinks it's a good time to go. Like I'm a majority of the time I'm not really going on my own. It's mostly getting the green light from him. But I definitely say it was for sure a focus in the off season, and I feel like getting back to that team where like we can run, and I mean we have like I think 4 or 5 guys over 15 bags, so I think being able to facilitate runs that way and not just relying on double home run, like I think that really helps our offense. And we're not always going to be able to swing the bats like we do every weekend, but I think stealing bags just puts us in a good position overall as an offense.
Was that was a focal point for the team in the offseason, I would assume, right? And you knew that you had a lot of athletes. Was that something that was communicated very early on that, hey, we're going to be a team that steals a bunch of bags? Because second in the A-10 with 131, and it's going back to the 2019 season. It's the first time Fordham's stolen 100 plus bags since 2019. So I imagine that was something that the coaching staff was pretty upfront about, is that we're going to get back to those roots a little bit.
Yeah, I mean Porter's always a big guy on stealing bags. I mean, he's always talking about it, and I feel like in the fall it was always like a quota for you in the spring. So it was like, all right, you're getting 40 bags this year, you're getting 20 bags, you're getting 30 bags, and I think he just put a big emphasis on like, look, like we're all athletes. Like he always says, we're all Division I athletes. Like we're gonna go out and steal as many bags as we can and just put ourselves in the best spots as an offense.
I got a couple questions for Tom McAndrews here. You had a really strong season behind the plate defensively. You've been a rock back there for these Rams in your time here. But you also put together a little 5-game hitting streak to end the season. And so do you think about that at all going into the playoffs, or is it kind of like the other guys have already said, it's more of like a mental reset, clean slate into the postseason?
Yeah, I don't really think too much about that. I kind of think with like all these guys in the front of the lineup, whatever I do offensively is kind of like a bonus. That's kind of what the coaches have been saying. Like they care about my defense and what I do behind there. And, if I hit, I hit. I mean, and I feel pretty good right now. So I'm hoping it continues on.
Yeah, and just like I'm not sure if you've been asked about this before, but the no batting gloves. Is there a story there, or is it more of just a personal preference? Because me, I love it. I think it's awesome.
I mean, my whole life, I haven't used them, but I did break it this weekend. It got kind of hot. So my hands were sweaty. I had to toss them on. It felt really weird, and everyone said I looked horrible. But yeah, and I kind of like the only time I really use them is when my hands are like really sweaty. But my whole life, I just kind of been rocking with it. So kind of a little superstition there.
Mm.
I want to talk to you guys about the freshmen, and feel free, anyone, to take this one if a couple guys want to chime in. But I mean, it's really stuck out to me, and you mentioned already Taylor Kirk, but Anthony Grabau, you've had at times in this lineup 4 or 5 different freshmen in the starting lineup, and then on the pitching side of things, whether it's Bo Elson, whether it's Chase Hannawalt, these guys have really come in and made an impact. And I've always heard the leap from high school to D1 is super challenging. So, A, how challenging is it for guys to step up and be starters as freshmen? B, how impressive is it that you have so many that are playing in an everyday role?
Yeah, I mean, I can start at least on the offensive side. It's been pretty special. I don't think I've ever. I mean, I played D3 for 4 years and here for 2, but I don't think I've ever seen like freshmen just kind of come in and like compete and step up like this. Like, you saw it with Kirk, Grabo, even like Hannawalt, like as a hitter. Caden Young before he got hurt came in. Like, there's just so many guys that who else were you say? Markey too. Yeah, Markey's been a spark plug too. Like, it's like top to bottom, it's like one of the most talented freshman classes that like we've seen, and guys have such good attitudes. Like they're all like mature. They have great body language, great presence. It's something that I don't think I've ever seen. It's like a level of confidence that they've been there before, even though like they haven't been. And I think once some of them got like a little bit of success, they just continue to like to roll with it. And it's super cool to see like going through the ups and downs of the season, them just being able to respond and keep playing well. So yeah, we're at least offensively and certainly pitching wise, we're super grateful that they came in and made such a big impact.
Yeah, and then just like on the pitching side, I mean, Bo Elson's not that good. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. He's in here. I was just kidding. No, we got a lot of really talented freshmen, and I know like it's awesome to see like especially on the mound like young pitchers contributing because like I always used to think back to like how some of us were as freshmen, and like I think it's a testament to like where the program is and like how like just guys like it's almost contagious in a way where like if you see one guy succeed, you start to have some success, and then it starts to feed into the dugout and into everybody else, and like it creates an almost like looser environment, and everyone just feels a little bit more comfortable and like more just like success starts to come a little bit more loosely to you. And so it's been really good to see like on the pitching side at least too, and definitely on the hitting side too. Like, but it just feels like this class is so deep, and it's been a huge reason to why we've had a lot of success, I think.
I mean, I remember talking to Kevin Layton at some point, probably midway through the season, about them, and he said, I didn't expect to be playing this many of them on an everyday basis. But I mean, clearly a lot of them have earned these roles. When did you guys realize we have a really talented freshman class and they're going to make this type of impact?
Honestly, for me, I saw it very early on in the fall. I mean, guys like Bo and Hannawalt right away looked like one of our best arms, and I mean, it's a major adjustment. I mean, the strike zone is a lot smaller than it was in high school. Our conference is very offense dominated, and I mean, like we mentioned before, you get punched a lot when it comes to conference play, and especially as a pitcher in this league. And I mean, what I was most surprised about is how easily and how quickly they've adjusted to getting punched and dealing with the adversity. Because it was easy to see early on how much talent they had, but to be able to see the mental fortitude that they had to kind of bounce back has been really special to see. It's something that I wish that we had a little bit more early on in our careers, but I'm glad that we have it now with us now.
And Connor and Gannon, you guys can probably both speak to this one, both being in the Rams bullpen. But The bullpen's looking pretty solid going into the postseason here. They put together 6 strong innings of 1-run ball behind AJ Pino in that last game against George Mason to clinch a playoff berth. And so, how big of a confidence boost was that last game, the final push into the playoffs for this bullpen?
Yeah, it's great to see. It feels like you can almost just give the ball to anybody, and like they can go out and give you like 3 outs, or they can go out and give you an extended, like same thing with Pino, like 'cause he's been kind of a spot start here and there, but like you can give him the ball and he can go 4 strong innings for you and hand the ball over to the bullpen. So that's the thing that's really exciting because I know in this tournament you're going to need a lot of good pitching and you're going to need guys to step up. Like some guys might need to give you 3 outs, some guys might need to give you 12. But it feels like we have a really deep staff that you can almost just hand the ball to anybody and they can go for a little bit. And like the whole thing, like because we used to in our career early, like we used to get punched, and then like the problem was like we couldn't almost punch back. But we made it a big point of like having a short memory because it's a long season and there's a lot of ups and downs. So being able to like reset every day is a new day, every pitch is a new pitch, and just being able to take it one pitch at a time versus like, oh wow, we still have 15 more outs and we only have a 1-run lead. Like how are we going to hold this? If you can just take it one pitch at a time and just keep winning every pitch, like it's made a huge difference. So yeah.
I mean, I think about this pitching staff, and both Rabeda and Dowd at one point in the season get A-10 pitcher of the week. You've gotten some clutch performances, as Tucker has mentioned. Tommy, you've been behind the plate for a lot of them. And when the playoffs come around, we saw in 2019 when Fordham went all the way, pitching is paramount. So when this pitching staff has been really successful, what's been the key to that success? And I guess into the postseason, what do they need to do to replicate that effectiveness at a big level?
Yeah. I mean, it's all about like the free stuff. Like our pitching staff is so good when we're making the other team manufacture their own runs. Like when we're not walking people or hitting people or making errors, we're a really, really good team. I think overall defensively, we've been playing really well. And I mean, I think there were a couple errors the last game or so, but we've been playing awesome. And I mean, I want to talk about like Amir. Like the stuff he's been doing is unreal for this ball club. Like he's been a spark plug for us. And anytime like any of these guys are out there, like Connor said, like we have confidence in them. Like I'm not gonna lie, and in the beginning of the year, like some guys would come out on the mound, I'd be like, oh man, like I don't know what's gonna happen. But now it's like, all right, like we're in this, like we're gonna be in this game, we're probably gonna win.
Yeah, I guess so. One more for Andrew. You mentioned we've been talking about it the whole time. You've been here for 2 seasons. You spent the first few years of your career at Vassar, but you had career high in home runs and RBIs, a couple other categories this season. Just filling up the stat sheet really casually. But what allowed you to sort of blossom offensively here at Fordham, coming from Vassar?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing was having the 5th year under my belt. Like last year, like I had stretches where I was good, and then stretches where like I really struggled, and I put together like an all right season. But like coming into this year, like I knew what to expect. I knew like in general like how I was like gonna be pitched, but a lot of it goes to like some coaches back home, and then also like the staff here. We made some like swing setup adjustments that like allowed me to feel more like loose and comfortable, and I felt like I could hit like multiple pitches, like Coach Caserta, Coach Porter, Coach Layton, they all like work with me, and we kind of developed like more of a plan. Like for example, like if I get like an 0-0 breaking ball and like I'm sitting fastball, like I can swing at it, and that's okay. So like I feel like they've given me permission to like feel loose, and I know like Booch and some other hitters on the team kind of have that same mindset where we feel like free and loose in the box. And I think last year sometimes like I would restrict myself, like I would like force myself to lock in on one approach when I didn't need to do that, and so. Yeah, I think a lot of it's just been like with the staff going over like a wide aspect of my offensive game and being able to like make adjustments off of that, and definitely having that year under the belt. Like I feel way more comfortable in the box this year than I did last year.
All right, fellas, I'm gonna close with this one. I'd like each of you can give me one player, either highlighting someone going into the postseason, maybe it's someone that you feel is an unsung hero, hasn't got enough love in what they've done to the regular season. Give me someone you want to talk about going into the A-10 championship.
I'll start. I'm gonna go Tommy Markey. He's like, it's crazy because like he'll do something great and something bad, and you get the same marking no matter what, which is pretty cool to see from like a freshman. I mean, I think he has like probably like 15 sack bunts this year too. Like he's not afraid to like he'll hit like a homer or a double in the gap and like get the offense going, and then he'll like do a job and like take one for the team in a sense. So I think offensively he's gonna be huge for us. Starting rallies, getting jobs done. So yeah, and also defensively he's awesome. So yeah, definitely watch out for him.
I'm gonna go with Matt Dieguez. I feel like this whole season he's probably been one of our most clutch hitters, especially in late game scenarios. I mean, even like this past weekend, I feel like close games for a bunch of them, and he's a lot of the time one of those guys that is, getting that hit to get us a couple runs. And he's been one of more consistent bats in our lineup, and also, he's never played first before this year, and I mean, there's been some ups and downs with him over there, but I think overall, like he's done a great job over there, and he's really just been a key piece to our offense.
I'm gonna go Cohen Smith. He's a guy that, has had some hard times this year for sure. But as we saw in that Dayton series, like that got everyone going. Like that was crazy. And now, like even after like the walk-off homer, like he went out there on Saturday and shut the door, and like we have that confidence in him. And I think that I'm starting to see that in him more, and we're all starting to see that in him. And I mean, he's gonna have to come up big for us this week, and he might have to do it a couple times. So
I'm going to go Amir Hassan. I feel like he's made the transition to starting look seamless. I mean, he's gone through he had an injury earlier on in the year, and he kind of stepped into our weekend rotation the last few weeks and completely shoved. He's been filling up the zone. I feel like our whole dugout gets into the game and excited when he's on the mound. I feel like he has unwavering confidence out there, and I feel like that's what we feel about him too. So I'm very excited to see him toe the rubber in the playoffs, and we'll all be ready to get behind him as well.
Nice. And who better to end on than Bo Elson? Freshman left-handed pitcher, great fastball, added a cutter, great breaking ball. But what's impressed me the most about Bo is his composure and his poise out there as a freshman. Like sending him into the game, like you could give him the ninth, you could give him 7, 8, 9. You can get 3 outs from him. If you need a spot start, you could definitely get that. But his versatility and his just like overall composure out there as a freshman has looked so impressive. Like it seems like nothing's phasing him. He doesn't lose control of the zone. He doesn't lose control of his own emotions. And he's going to be scary as a junior, senior, but we're just happy we have him as a freshman right now because he's pitching like he's an experienced member of the pitching staff.
Awesome.
I've got just one more before we close things out. It's a question for Gannon particularly because you were awarded a pretty significant honor at the Block F Awards, the Harder Award for academic achievement. It's not an easy thing to do here at Fordham. It's well known that Fordham is a very, very academically rigorous institution. So just how do you balance the D1 athletic workload with the Fordham academic workload? It can't be easy, but you found success really in both.
I mean, I'll give a lot of credit first off to my roommates, Alex Casserell and Ryan Meyer. We've all taken a lot of the similar classes going forward. And like you said, there's sometimes some tough times when it comes to scheduling and getting ready for tests or projects and whatnot. But being able to have them and lean on them for certain help on assignments and whatnot, I feel like that's been big. But also just having the coaching staff work around our schedules and being able to have be flexible with our practice. I feel like it may seem like from afar that we might not have a lot of time, but I feel like we have as much time as we need when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful for our coaching staff for giving us that amount of time, and we have a great student office as well when it comes to that. So yeah, I mean, I'm grateful to have received the award, but it definitely doesn't start with me on that one.
Fellas, I want to thank you all, the 5 captains of the 2025 Fordham baseball team: Tommy McAndrews, Daniel Bucciero, Andrew Kanellis, Gannon Brady, Connor Haywood. Fordham Baseball is qualified for the A-10 championship. Their journey starts tomorrow, Tuesday, 7 p.m. against St. Louis. Fellas, congratulations on making it to the playoffs, and go all the way for us. Appreciate you guys for hopping on.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.